whenever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. And AJ, did you know we're actually kind of making history? We've probably done this before, but it's been so long since we did it. We literally technically did a video at the time of recording this, because we're recording this on November 1st, 2024. We actually technically already recorded a video today, because we literally did the last episode of Yellowjackets like last night, but it bled over into today. So
into midnight, yeah. So this is we did two episodes, we did two videos in one day. Yeah, that is crazy when you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not my first time. I've done it before anyways, but this is the first time like we've technically done two videos in one day.
Yeah.
You would think too, by the way, like we wouldn't have anything to talk about, you know, considering the fact that, you know, we just literally talked like technically today, but we talked off camera for probably a little over
like an hour.
Yeah, like an hour. I mean, obviously we'll talk about some other stuff off camera type of thing. So, but yeah, welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. I'm Owen Finch, and I'm here with
AJ Talent, and it's probably it is my favorite episode so far. Yellowjackets Season 1, Episode 9. Owen, you want to give off the wiki details?
Yeah. So this episode is called DoomComing, which is kind of cool, you know, because they have that in the show, and we get the episode.
They literally title drop it.
Yeah.
In like first 5 minutes, and I was waiting for it to when they call it DoomComing for the credits just end. It's like the shortest episode ever. That'd
be awesome. And this episode was directed by Daisy Von Shear-Mayer. She's done a lot of famous stuff directed-wise. She's directed Walking Dead before. She directed, obviously, this episode of Yellowjackets. She directed the film Madeline. And she directed, Halt and Catching Fire. So, it's kind of cool that, this is the first, famous director we've had on this show where they've done a lot of stuff. So I kind of think it's cool that she was brought into the show. And maybe, you could kind of see, I'm not saying obviously, different tastes, but you could definitely see that she had more experience because, like I said, it ended up being a favorite episode, and the person that directed it was a pretty famous, director and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It was written by Amani Rosa and Sarah L. Thompson. No wikis. They don't get wikis. Now, AJ, you get to guess when the episode came out. We literally just today, technically.
Yeah, it was November 1st, 2022.
Wait, what?
I remember the last one.
No, it wasn't.
So
wait. It wasn't November 1st.
Oh, I mean January 1st, 2022. So this would be January 8th. No, wait. Oh, it was January 2nd. I think.
Yeah.
January 2nd. So this would be January 9th, 2022.
You almost got it on too until you just corrected yourself. I was just about to say, and then you know. But yeah, January 9th, 2022. Again, because these come out weekly. But yeah, let's just get started. Kind of a first also on the show because this is kind of the first time in this show, I think, other than the first couple episodes where there is a past and a present timeline, but when it comes to the main person talking, it's only going to be one of us kind of talking about each timeline because all the storylines just kind of mesh together this time around.
Which I like. I think a big criticism we had of the show earlier on was it's kind of like too many storylines per episode where it feels kind of jumbled. Like each storyline won't have as much screen time as it should.
And it makes
sense. I think this episode fixes that problem where we kind of it's more focused.
Yeah, I was fine with it this episode too because we're getting to the end of the season. We should kind of start to have these storylines intersect a little bit more. And with what they do in these episodes with both timelines, you kind of have to have all the storylines intersect. You couldn't really. There is some stuff that goes on, but it's kind of little stuff. But for the most part, all the storylines kind of mesh together in this episode. So I kind of liked that because again, you can't do that too often. Especially too if you get to the end of the season, it will kind of make the end of the season like a mess. So I'm kind of glad like all the storylines kind of intersected this time around. So
yeah. So in the past, it's as we're gonna say later on, it's apparently been a few weeks since the last episode, which is crazy to me. They've done like a pretty big time jump.
Yeah. Which I don't hate. The only thing that kind of sucks is like you didn't really get like an immediate like, because that's the first like big character in like a while that like died, so you didn't really get like an immediate,
Yeah, that was my thing. I'm like, because we saw their like immediate reaction to like Laura dying, but like we didn't see like really the aftermath of it.
Yeah. So I kind of wish maybe they would have done like the cold open would have been like the immediate reaction type of thing of like Laura dying type of thing.
Yeah, but we do clearly see though that like Laura's death has like affected them because as you said in the last video, that was kind of like their last attempt to really like get out of there like anytime soon. Because Taisa and her group went into the woods, they got fucked over by wolves, had to come back, and then the plane blew up. So now they can't really venture out on foot, and they can't they don't have anything like any vehicles to get out of there. So morale's at like an all-time low, and we see that they're just kind of like gathering worms at this point to cook and eat, because they don't have any like animals to hunt. Again, they didn't do a great job a couple episodes ago, like establishing that like the animals were like kind of not there anymore.
Yeah,
but again, that's more of that episode's fault than this one's. But yeah, combined with Laura dying. No real chance of like getting out of there, and they no food.
You said morale's at low. I gotta do this joke because we're doing GM mode and stuff. Good thing you're not doing GM mode with these people. Imagine what because you.
Oh yeah, fucking morale be at like a -5. Yeah,
because you can see the emojis. Like sometimes they'll be like pretty pissed off. This would be like almost like I want to. There probably is an emoji for it, but like I want to kill myself type of like emoji type.
I was gonna say like a skull emoji, like they're just fucking dead.
You would like lose all your because sometimes, as you said, they'll just leave. I don't think we had that email yet where they'll just leave. So like I'm putting. Can you just imagine in GM mode like you have all these people on your roster with this?
Oh god, fucking you lose all of them after a week. Yeah, but yeah, everyone's kind of just sitting there eating the worms. We see that like Shauna's trying to get Jackie to eat it, and she's like,
yeah.
And I thought Jackie was gonna be like pissy about it, like, ew, no, I don't want to eat worms. But she's just more so like, what does it matter? We're gonna die anyway.
I will say this, like, I think this is the way they wanted you to feel about this. Like, you can understand like Jackie's perspective. Like, obviously she's upset because like she feels hurt and everything like that. But it's also kind of like. And I think that because I think they'll want you to feel like, okay, this is kind of like high school drama. Like you're stranded out in like the woods, like kind of get over it a little bit type of thing because like you're literally gonna starve to death. And again,
I assume she's like upset because they're all gonna die and not because of the Jeff thing. I mean, I'm sure she's upset with Shauna still, obviously, as we're gonna see later.
Right.
But like, I do think it's more so that she's like depressed because they're all gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, yeah, I get that. I mean, and to be fair, Jackie is kind of the one to kind of like boost morale a little bit. Well, I kind of, because they mentioned that like it's around this time that like homecoming would happen back home.
Yeah, and that would be like October, I think, because typically that's usually when homecoming happens, I think.
Yeah. They're a little wonky in how long they've been out there. But like we'll kind of get into that, because they said it's been a few weeks. And as we're going to see a little bit later, Shauna's like starting to show that she's pregnant. Like she's got like a bump.
Yeah.
So I assumed it was like 3 months. It might be closer to 4.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, they mentioned that like homecoming was around this time, and I'm pretty sure it was Jackie who was kind of like, hey, you know what? We're gonna die anyway. Let's like have our own homecoming, and they call it a DoomComing, which obviously roll credits. That's the end of the episode.
So there was a way in GM you could have made them happy, just throwing them a DoomComing type of thing. So.
Yeah, And I do like how that actually boosts morale, and because they're all like really down and kind of just like silently sitting there.
Yeah.
But like in a weird way, like they seem to be kind of be like joking about it. Like they're like, even Ben is like, hey, if we're gonna die anyway, might as well have some fun.
Yeah.
So they've kind of like not accepted it, but they're kind of just like, if we're gonna die, might as well try and just like have a little bit of fun before.
Yeah.
Because
I like that it was Jackie too that boosted like the morale up, because this kind of ties back into like episode 1 where like Jackie was made like the team leader and like the one to like kind of motivate everybody. And usually when morale is pretty low, Jackie's always the one that kind of boosts morale, like with that meeting they had like before the plane crash, like the day before, and then like the seance, she got that going, and then and I still like that Jackie's the one that's boosting morale, even though she's kind of feeling like she's a little bit of a low right now. So I like that. So
yeah, it was a little bit before Jackie called it the DoomComing, but one of the girls had like a bunch of like grapes stored in a jar, and she left it there too long, and it basically like, all like kind of like became liquid.
Yeah,
and he said like, oh, it's this is probably like alcohol now. So we could like drink this and get a little bit of a buzz probably.
Oh yes, they will. Yes, they will.
Yeah, well, not from the drinks. They're all kind of like trying to make the best of this horrible situation, and it sucks, because as I said, that was only a big escape attempt, and they've all kind of given up on like getting rescued. So yeah, they pretty much all think they're going to die at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, they are all kind of just getting ready for this DoomComing. They're going to throw their own little dance. And unfortunately, they don't really have much food, to eat there. But yeah, as I said, they're gonna like, use what little alcohol, like the berries, to like make alcohol. What little alcohol I can. And we still all kind of get ready. They're like making dresses and making little like head ornaments out of branches.
We see like they're making like the antlers and like the skull. What we saw, like what's like the picture of this show, and like the what we see.
And we saw Misty wearing it at the episode 1, like the flash forward.
Yeah. And I liked this. I like that they explained too, like the person just had all these dresses type of thing, so that way they didn't just come out of nowhere type of thing. So that was good.
Well, it's a little weird they had them because they were going to a soccer game. I guess it was like like if they like won, they were gonna like go have a little party.
Yeah, that makes it. Plus, they probably would have had like some type of a ceremony or something at the end type of thing. So
yeah, I can buy that they had these like dresses on them. We had a lot of nice little scenes. So I guess the first one I'll talk about is Thaisa goes over to Van, and Van's kind of just like avoiding her a little bit. It seems like because she seems like she's self-conscious about like how her face is all scarred up, and she has it like still wrapped in the bandages she had it wrapped in like after the surgery.
Yeah.
And then this was really sweet where Thaisa not only like made like a half mask for Van, she also made a mask for herself so they'll match.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
I like that, where she like also like Thaisa puts on a mask to make Van feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that was real sweet.
And I do like that Van isn't like mad at Thaisa. She's just like, as Thaisa said, she's just like being self-conscious. She feels like, she's all like disfigured.
Yeah, I liked that.
I mean, honestly, we see her without the mask later, and like, honestly, for having her fucking face eaten by a wolf, she doesn't look that bad.
Yeah, considering
she's got like a couple scars, but like it's really not as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, they must have done a real good job, like stitching her up, type of thing.
I don't know, I was about to say they fucking probably did better than like a medical hospital could have done.
Yeah, good job. Maybe they should go to medical. Well, I know one of them goes to medical school, but like not the one that probably should have gone to medical school. So
yeah, I guess Misty was like the one who should have been the fucking farthest away from any of that shit.
Yeah.
So that's a really sweet scene. We get a scene of Shauna. We get like Shauna and Jackie talking a bit before the dance, kind of walking through the woods. And I do like how Jackie asked Shauna, "Hey, you wonder what we would be doing right now if we didn't crash?" And Shauna's like, "No." And I like that because last episode, Shauna was the one who asked Taissa that question.
Yeah, so this was good.
And I mean, I think it makes sense because they've only been out there for a couple months, whereas I feel like that's not long enough to be like, oh man, what would my life be like?
Plus, they're still young. They're like about to graduate like high school. They still have like, I mean, I know they said they're gonna die, but like at 18, you're not really thinking of. You're thinking of your future, but not like in the sense that like like way down the line type of thing.
Well, I think it's more so like Shauna, in her 40s has more regrets than Shauna in her teens.
Yes. Yeah. Especially too, it could be one of those things where they think they're gonna die anyway, so they don't want to really think about like that. You're on the face of death.
Yeah.
You don't want to think about
Also in a weird way, because it's like. I think in their minds, if they got rescued, they would be like, living the dream. Whereas, obviously we find out when they finally get rescued, Shauna like kind of lives a life that she's not like really proud of.
And don't forget too, like they said too, like to stay out of the limelight, which Taissa didn't do, and like not really, draw enough attention to yourself because of all the bad shit. Because they haven't done any like if they got rescued this episode. I don't think they would have.
They wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. So, well, maybe before the DoomComing, they would, type of thing.
I feel like even then, I mean, what happens is bad, but not like bad enough where you have to like, not like, just live a shitty life where you're like, keeping a low profile.
Yeah.
So Jackie is deciding, if she's gonna die anyway, she doesn't want to die a virgin. So she, and I was like. It's funny because you brought that up last episode where someone asked like if Shauna got pregnant here, and it's like she doesn't have many options. So yeah, Shauna's like, with who? And then Jackie basically points at like the only fucking option available.
That's also confirmed.
I mean, unless Jackie decides to pull a Van and Tice and start batting for the same team.
But that's also confirmed that remember the first scene, like, in the past at all, that wasn't the opening of, like, the Misty stuff of the plane crash. It was implied that Jeff and, Jackie, like, had sex, but, like, we find out nothing. This is kind of confirmed nothing happened, so this confirmed that Jackie's been a virgin the whole time. Which makes it even more brutal about the fact, now it kind of makes it a little bit more understandable why Jackie does, not much more, but a little bit more understandable, because, Shauna... like had sex with Jeff before like Jackie got the opportunity to, so like
I mean I feel like yeah you're right, like well I mean like the whole thing sucks from Jackie's point of view, but like that is extra salt in the wound where she was dating Jeff for years and they never did it, and then fucking Shauna, her best friend, goes behind her back, sleeps with her boyfriend and gets pregnant with his kid. Like that is pretty fucked.
And she kind of claps back like Shauna here like a little bit where she mentions like we're not going to be competed from the same guy type of thing, at the end. And mentions like, we're going to die anyways. Might as well take, like she's doing like a lot of, and I know I've said this before, and then it ends up not be because you've had to correct me and says like it ends up not be. Now I can understand why I always thought Jackie was like taking shots at Shauna like before, because now it's actually the case type of thing. So
yeah.
So now I take. So now when I saw it,
which I mean I think is understandable. Again, like I can't really blame Jackie for being. I mean, like you said, it is kind of a little bit like high school drama, like you're about to die.
Yeah.
But like I can't really blame Jackie for like Shauna. Not only broke her trust, she fucking shot her trust in the face and fucking ran it over.
Yeah. Just to make sure just to make sure the trust was gone, you gotta run it over too. Just gotta run it over.
Crashed in the woods, if you would.
Yeah. I did like to how they've treated like Shauna and Jackie's interactions. Like since then, like it's not like Jackie's not outright confronting Shauna. I like that she's being passive aggressive. But I think we talked about this off air. It's gonna be kind of weird if like Jackie, when or if Jackie confronts Shauna about this, and Shauna doesn't already have like a suspicion that Jackie knows or something. That's gonna be like very odd type of thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, from the way like Jackie's talking here, and the way like the camera will like pan to Shauna, and she'll like be making a face like she kind of like has an idea that Jackie knows what's up.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really weird if like when Jackie does finally confront Shauna on it, if Shauna just like is like, "Oh my God, how did you know?" Because I mean, like, Jackie's basically saying she knows without saying she knows.
And it also just would, it also wouldn't make sense, like you said, like with the way Shauna's react in these, interactions and everything like that.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, so you've again, you've already know what happens, so if that's the case. This is my first time viewing it. I haven't seen the next episode, so I guess I'll find out when I find out.
Yeah,
but so basically, Sean is telling Jackie, like, hey, that's really shitty because, Natalie and Travis are, like, a thing. But Jackie's basically saying, like, they haven't, been talking to each other for weeks, which was our confirmation, like, when this episode took place. Because at first, I assumed this was, like, pretty shortly after last episode. But no, this confirms it's been, like, a while.
Yeah.
Which was, like, caught me off guard. I'm like, oh, wow, I didn't realize we're going to do, like, a big time jump like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, it is a little sad because, Jackie, of course, I think, like, she wanted her first time to be with Jeff, and, like, she was, like, debating if she loved him or not, and, like, she, like all that stuff, she kind of, like, romanticized it, and, with what she says to, Travis later, I do feel bad for her, that she kind of had this, like, kind of like a romantic, head in the clouds kind of view of her relationship with Jeff.
Yeah.
And then, at this point, she doesn't even like Travis really like that. I mean, like, I don't think she dislikes him. She just doesn't, like, really love, she's not in love with him or anything.
Right, absolutely.
So, but she's just kind of just like she said, she doesn't want to die a virgin, but I think it's also, like, she's hurt that Shauna and Jeff slept together, so she kind of wants to, like, not really get revenge. I guess it's just like she just wants to, like, take action. I guess, I don't know. I'm not quite sure exactly what she's thinking.
She's hurting.
Yeah, she's hurting. She kind of just wants to, like, basically do something about it, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so that's pretty much, and then Shauna is, like, getting ready. She's putting on her dress, but we pan down and we see she's got, like, quite a decent baby bump going.
Yeah,
which I was surprised at because last episode she wasn't really showing at all. But I guess it has been a couple weeks, so it makes sense. I am curious how long they've been out there. Again, as we said, probably like 4 months.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good. We're not knowing because they probably don't really know. I don't know. We keep saying they don't know either, but they know they clearly have to know something because they're even like, well, now would be the time of homecoming type of thing. So they have to kind of.
Oh, because I think someone said like, oh, it's like a full moon tomorrow.
Yeah. Which
is like a new month.
Mm-hmm.
So they are probably keeping track of like based on like the moon or something.
But yeah, that was pretty cool. You did miss. Not a big thing, but kind of a thing that happened, unless you were just going to get to it. Before the dance, Misty asked Ben to go to the dance with her.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Okay.
But yeah, you can talk about it.
No, just talk about it. It's fine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just kind of going through like what everyone was doing before the dance. Yeah. So yeah, Misty asks Ben and like gives him a little thing, and Ben is like, yeah, no, Misty, remember when I said we can't like be a thing? And Misty kind of gives him like the the teary eyes, like I'm sorry, that was stupid of me. I know I'm not like pretty or whatever, and she like walks away. I don't know if a part of it is like I feel like she's being genuine here.
Yeah.
And part of it is like she's like manipulating him, she's like going boo hoo, so she so Ben like goes with her.
I think it was probably like 85% genuine, probably whatever the rest of the percentage. So it'd be like, maybe 25%.
Yeah, because it's weird. Like in a way, Misty like isn't malicious on purpose, if that makes sense. Like when she was spying on Natalie, like in her mind, like she's looking out for Natalie and like being her friend, like, and she doesn't even realize like what she's doing is fucked up.
Well, this is a nice callback too, because we see in the present that's how Misty, that's how she acts on her blind dates and everything like that. So it's a nice little thing that happens in the past.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's like, yeah, you're probably right where she like isn't even trying to like make Ben feel bad for it. That's kind of just like, she kind of lives in her own little world, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah. So yeah, Ben is like, oh, fuck. Okay, he's probably also like, all right, we're gonna die here. I'll like humor Misty. I'll take her to the dance. Sure. It's not like he has any other options.
Plus, he says like, the boundaries are still like the same type of thing, and
yeah.
he's probably.
I am glad he specifies. Like, listen, boundaries still the same. Like, we're not a thing. I'm just going to the dance with you.
He's probably thinking in his head too, like it's just going to a dance. It's not like we're doing anything like drastic or anything like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So but later on, Jackie is doing Misty's makeup.
Oh, this is fucked.
And it's Ben will be very clear on the boundaries, and Misty fucking does not listen.
I told you, this is Brian from Family Guy, like that episode where like Meg like likes him, and Brian like the second time he has to tell her like has to make it pretty clear about the boundaries, and like they do that thing where like the dream pastor comes up and like yells it again. It's honestly, is Misty just Meg from Family Guy, like that psychotic?
Yeah, I know, right?
Meg?
Just fucking crazy stalker. Yeah. Yeah, because he even like directly confronted her after he poisoned her. She poisoned him the first time and was like, "You cannot fucking do that."
Yep.
And she's like, "I'm gonna do it again." So basically, So Jack is doing Misty's makeup, and Misty basically asks Jackie for advice. Which makes sense. She's like the popular girl, and she, as far as Misty knows, she's in a happy relationship with Jeff. So they talk, and Misty Jackie gives advice saying like, hey, you should be with someone who like wants to be with you.
Mm-hmm.
And Misty says her mom told her the best way to a man's heart is his stomach, which again is fucked up because she keeps fucking poisoning him.
Right. I think what the fuck that is like Jackie still gives her advice anyways, even though she clearly tells Misty clearly tells Jackie that it's Coach Ben that like is the person going on the dance, like the person that like she liked. Like, if she had said this to like Shauna, Natalie, well maybe not Natalie, well maybe Natalie, she would be like, whoa, what? You like the coach? Like no, you realize like what this is wrong here.
Well, I
like,
think they all picked. I mean, Misty doesn't exactly hide it. I think Misty I think everyone knows Misty likes Coach Ben like that.
Yeah. Well, I will say because Jackie's advice is sort of what kind of causes Misty to kind of go do what she kind of does in a way type of thing.
Well, to be fair to Jackie, she probably didn't know that. I mean, honestly, when I first saw it, Jackie's advice is kind of like saying not to go with, because she says like, you should be with someone who loves you and like wants to be with you. Like the way she phrased it, she's basically saying like, be with someone who like, like is going to be with you. Basically, and she's like, and Coach Ben doesn't want to be with her.
Yeah. But I think Misty probably flipped that and like.
Which again, like I don't blame Jackie for that. Jackie could have literally fucking slapped Misty in the face and said like, he does not like you. Find someone else, and Misty would fucking still find a way to like flip it around.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
So like again, Jackie was kind of fucked no matter what she said here. So I don't really blame her for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so Misty pulls out a bag of shrooms she had stored in her binder, which she like hid in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
She's really lucky an animal didn't like sniff that and find it. But I guess she had it in a plastic bag, so
yeah, probably sealed it up.
So she puts it into some tea, or like some juice, basically.
No, that's not what happens.
Oh, sorry. She was holding like a teapot, and like she had the plastic bag like next to the teapot.
Yeah.
But then when Sean asks for help getting her dress on because she's not fitting into it because she's got the baby, Misty goes to help her and puts it down. and then some other girl puts the shrooms into like the stew.
Yep.
And she was like, "Oh, hey, Misty, you had some shrooms. You're holding out on us, huh?" And Misty had to be like, "Yeah."
Yep.
What's again? I still can't believe Misty was legit gonna fucking force feed Ben all those shrooms, and then like, look at. I mean, what was her plan? Was she gonna rape him?
I don't know. By the way,
Like, I think that was the implication that she was gonna drug him and then like sleep with him.
can you imagine? By the way, like, because we see what happens. Everyone didn't really. I mean, I know all the shrooms go into the pot anyways, but everyone didn't. You know, Ben was gonna get the full effects of that too.
That's what I'm saying. Ben probably would have fucking overdosed.
Yeah, yeah. So,
like everyone got fucked up, from the shrooms. So like all of them going to Ben, like damn.
unless she was just gonna put like a little in there, but I don't know if she was gonna put a little in there. I don't know why she would take the whole bag. I thought she would take a few type of thing.
Yeah, but yeah. So it is like, so yeah, there's layers to this. Where again, she was gonna fucking almost risk overdosing Ben when he specifically told her like, do not do that shit to me. Do not slip shit into my food or drinks.
Yeah.
Well, the fact that she even needed to be told that is like insane.
I also wonder what her plan was going to be because obviously, Ben wasn't going to drink this tea obviously if Misty just gave it to him. So I'm wondering like what the plan like was Ben like did she have like was she going to put it in like a specific cup like he would drink like what was the plan? I do want to know what the plan was. Again, I do like though because we never got to see like I like to think Misty had a plan. So like but it just never got to be carried out because, Yeah. I like that it was one of the random background people that did this too. Like, put all the shrooms into the freaking tea. That was awesome.
I know, right? And to Misty, she doesn't even fucking tell anybody. She just like, oh, yeah. She like looks around as everyone's eating it. And she knows they're going to get fucking high out of their minds.
I guess. Because then, they would, that would have like, because I don't. We find out Natalie finds out later. Well, not, but like knew about it. But like maybe like she didn't want to like tell anyone that she poisoned Ben the first time type of thing. Just kind of trying to keep.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, like to be fair to Misty, like no one would have known it was Misty who did that.
Yeah.
So I get why she's kind of keeping quiet, but and also she could have there's no way she could have known like things would have ended up as they did.
Yes.
But it is funny. Everyone was gonna be tripping balls, and she like fully knew that. Like she's fine. She fucking slurps some down herself,
and she's fine. She ends up being fine for the most part too.
Yeah, I was surprised she wasn't like acting weirder.
I mean, this is the same Misty that did cocaine like in the present.
Yeah, so we just found out Misty like drugs do not affect Misty.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a superpower. So yeah, the shrooms go into the food, and Misty had to just be like, "Oh, okay, great." I like the little scene where Travis is helping Javi like tie his tie.
Yeah, that was good.
Kind of showing, because fucking Javi has not been in this damn show. We fucking joke about how he's constantly just going to like a nearby town, isn't telling anybody.
I can't wait till we talk about that at the end because I know I gave it away for the next episode, but like I couldn't help myself. I just had you for the next episode. So
yeah, but and then we kind of just see a couple scenes of like Travis and Natalie kind of like eyeing each other from like across the camp. Though like they kind of want to talk to each other, but they like don't really know how to.
I do wonder how the hunting has been going then if they haven't really been like seeing eye to eye type of thing. Like does Natalie just go now?
Well, as we found out, like there hasn't been any like animals around here, so they're probably not even really hunting anymore.
I mean, I assume they're still attempt. They have to still attempt. So it'd be kind of cool to see what that's like. Like if they're still out.
Yeah, where they're kind of just like not talking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have been nice to get like a scene of them like attempting to hunt and. Because as we said, they've been telling us there haven't been any animals, but they haven't really been showing us.
Yeah, yeah.
So it would have been nice to get like a scene of where they're like hunting for animals and like they're just not having any luck.
Well, I'm just saying too, especially too because they just had this. No, they haven't. Made,
that would make it extra interesting. One, they're frustrated because there's no animals to hunt, and two, they're awkward because of what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like that.
But yeah, they end up having the dance. They all have like a little walk through a little curtain they made, which was nice. And this is where Van and Thaisa walk in like arms linked, and again they're wearing like the masks that Thaisa made. And then one of the background girls was like, "Are they?" And the other one's like, "Duh."
I like this. I guess this was the reveal. I thought the last episode was the reveal, but I'm glad this was actually the reveal. Like, because it would have been weird if that was the reveal the last episode. So yeah,
when the last episode, the way you were talking, it made it seem like they were gonna put two and two together because of Thaisa caring about Van, and I was like, that'd be really dumb. That like Thaisa is like upset that Van almost fucking died.
But I'm
glad it's like, what are you, gay?
I'm glad here was the reveal because that makes more sense.
And I do like, again, everyone's supportive. Because I even questioned Thaisa. I'm like, Thaisa, I don't think anyone will really give a shit. And yeah, sure enough, everyone's cool with it.
Yeah. I mean, now I like it better. It was just, in Thaisa's head type of thing. So I'm glad that, like,
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I can buy that Thaisa was making a mountain out of a molehill kind of thing.
Well, tell that to do for
I do like this was, the push was kind of like, because she, Van is obviously feeling self-conscious because of her, like, face injuries.
Yeah.
So, Thaisa, like, going to the dance with her, making her the mask, and, like, coming out to everybody. I think that's a good way of, like, making Van feel more comfortable.
Definitely.
They have the healthiest relationship by far so far.
Out of, like, everyone in the whole show?
Yeah.
Well, not Natalie. Thaisa and Simone's relationship, like in the beginning, before like the
last episode got a little with Thaisa, like kind of.
Oh, I don't want to talk about that.
Scary.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore. I don't want to talk about that because I hate it.
Yeah, that was not. That was not a great scene. Everyone.
And in the beginning, Travis and Natalie's relationship, before was pretty healthy.
But that's why I'm saying, like, up to this point, they have, like, the healthiest relationship. Because, Thaisa and Van, like, argued when they were in the woods. Yeah. But, like, they kind of, like, moved past that.
Which makes me wonder, like, what happens where they're not together anymore, like, in the present type of thing.
Yeah, obviously it didn't work out. And, we found the last episode, like, Thaisa, like, dated a bunch of girls in college. So, like, if they're out there for 18 months, presumably they'll, like, be college age when they get out of there.
Oh, that's really sad, yeah.
So, like, it's not even like if Van is alive, like, whatever relationship they have, like, doesn't last beyond the woods.
Yeah, I hope it's like a amicable breakup type of thing, but it's probably not.
Even if Van is, because we don't know what's up with Van, if she's alive in the day or not.
Yeah.
So basically it's either Van dies or, like, if Van is alive, they break up either, like, shortly before or after they get rescued. Just based on the timeline,
Yeah.
Which is funny because you're going to talk about, like, a timeline thing in a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's sad, because when you, like, think about the timeline, like, certain things are going to play out a certain way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they go to the dance, everyone's having a good time, they're, drinking what little alcohol they can from, like, the grapes, and they're eating the stew, which had shrooms in them, which I just think is so funny. And Travis kind of tries to go up to Natalie.
Oh, wait, before this, they also pay tribute to, like, Lottie makes a point to pay tribute to Laura Lee, like, before the dance.
I do like that. Everyone, like, is like, yeah, I agree, glass raise to Laura. I do like that.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm sure it's actually, well, one, it's the first person who's died since the plane crash, and two, who ironically also died in the plane crash.
Technically, yeah.
Laura Lee must be like, being in a plane crash twice, what are the odds? If I had a nickel for every fucking plane crash, I'd have 2 nickels, which is, strange that it happened twice.
Yeah.
Which, funny enough, I think it's a Phineas and Ferb reference. That meme, I think that came from Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. Well, not that quote, but that meme, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, and also I'm sure like the first person who died since the plane crash, and she died trying to get them help. So I'm sure that adds to the somber feeling.
Yes.
They quickly try to get themselves back together and have as much fun as they can. Misty asks Ben if he wants to dance.
Oh, that was probably worse than what you did to him the last episode. Like,
I know. I was thinking of in Family Guy when they go to that play and they all like stand up and give a round of applause, and some guy turns to Joe who's in a wheelchair and is like, "Wow, you're a dick. You're not going to stand in applause."
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's funny. Even is like, I think my dancing days are over.
Yeah.
And poor Misty, she even at one point tries to like, because they don't have any music, so Misty tries to be like, "Hey, let's do a slow song and let's all like sing a slow song," to give her an excuse to dance with Ben.
Yeah. I like that.
Which again,
I love that Ben points out like, "Oh, look, Harvey coming out of the woodworks." Like, well, Harvey doesn't have anyone to dance with. Go dance with him. That was awesome. Like, Harvey just coming out of the woodworks right there. Like,
yeah, I know, right? I would just came back like, "Hey guys, I'm back from town. It's like a mile away. Oh, we're having a dance. Cool."
It'd be funny if he brought people from the town to the dance. Like,
right? Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Owen, because as I noticed, like during these scenes, there's no extras. Mm-hmm. Like normally in the back, as we've complained about, like they're kind of vague on like how many people are even at the camp.
Yeah.
But like, they'll usually have like a couple people in the background.
Not this time.
This time it is literally just the main characters.
And those two background characters.
Right. But like it is basically like there's no one else there.
Yeah, nothing.
Which is weird. Like you figure they would have like one or two people we don't really know, like kind of in the background, but nah.
There was less background. You're not gonna like this. There was less background characters there, probably than like it was probably less of that than like less of like how much was on a wiki of a Kiss This guideline type of thing.
I know, right? Fucking even less than that. Yeah,
that's not good. By the way, that's not
good. It's extra weird because again, remember, I still remember that scene from like when they were like going to the campground for the first time, and we see like there's a good amount there. There's like more than 10 people.
Yeah, what happened to them?
I know, right? Like I'm like, what? Do they just like? Is there like a separate? Again, they're just kind of going with Harvey to the nearby town every now and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like my only complaint with this episode is like they're like it's really just the main characters.
And I feel like they did that because obviously if they had background characters, it wouldn't really work with the Shrooms thing probably. So
right, but again, that kind of continues my criticism of like we should have kind of gotten a head count. Again, you don't need to show every extra, but kind of just give a head count.
Yeah.
And then like just have a couple extra people in the background. You don't have to like do anything with them.
I know, yeah. That's just really weird.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Van Tyser are dancing. Everyone's, having a good time. Travis goes up to Jackie. And like, Travis tries to go up to Natalie.
Yeah.
To like, and then Jackie kind of intercepts. She, they're on a soccer team. She's got to practice her interception game. And it's like, hey, Travis, let's like dance and hang out.
What was fucked up about this was like, I know she had mentioned she was gonna like go up and like, kind of try to have sex with like Travis and like not be a virgin anymore. I think the fucked up about she waited up until like Travis worked up the courage to like make up and make amends with like Natalie type of thing.
When she pointed out that Natalie and him weren't together anymore, it's like, okay, fine, sure, whatever, he's single. But, like, yeah, when he's, like, trying to actively, like, patch things up with Natalie and, like, ruining it, that's fucked up.
I think I had to mention that to you off screen, off, like, camera, right? Because, I think you forgot about that originally until I said it. Like, it's really...
Well, no, I knew that. I'm just saying, like, I was okay with Jackie's reasoning until that, Because then it's, like, that's actively fucking with their relationship, yeah.
And, in Jackie's mind, it's understandable. Like I said, it's understandable because, she wants to, like, tear down every relationship right now that, like, is being built. And you could take an argument. She's still.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say she's like trying to sabotage it. It's more so she doesn't really care.
I don't know. I felt like there was some vitriol this time around, though, because it's like right when Travis is about to make amends, that's when she decided to go up there, type of thing. So I feel like there was some vitriol,
true. Yeah, she might be taking out her issues on everyone else. Yeah.
Oh, there's a big scene you missed with Jackie though, because it kind of ties in. When everyone was drinking the.
I know. I was gonna say, like, Jackie is the only one who didn't drink the stew.
Yeah.
With the because Shauna offers her some. And this ties into earlier where Shauna's trying to get Jackie to eat, and here Shauna's again trying to get Jackie to eat it, and Shauna just kind of like dumps it.
I like to think too, because Shauna says, "Can you just eat for me?" I like to think like once Shauna said for me, and she's like, "Oh well, I'm definitely not going to eat now," type of.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like to point out, Misty ate the stew as well. Like she looked around, saw everyone eating it, and she looked at Ben, who's eating it, and then she like sipped it a bit. So basically, she like knew it was gonna get her stoned, but she like did it anyway.
That reminded me of when Gus had to drink the poison because the guy like made him drink it, like
Yeah. Well, that's a little different because fucking that guy like knew it was gonna be suspicious if Gus didn't drink it. Here, no one would have been suspicious if Misty didn't drink it. She just decided not to. I mean, she just decided to anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
And that makes me curious with what happens in a little bit. Because, obviously Jackie doesn't drink it. And, but like, based on how people act later on, it's curious.
Yeah.
So, Travis and Jackie are dancing. Everyone's dancing, having a good time. But then Jackie and Travis kind of like break off from everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like how Jackie's trying really hard to like, he's like, Jackie's like, hey, isn't it a guy's dream to be surrounded by a bunch of babes in the middle of nowhere? And he's like, wow, quite the ego. And he's like, what? And she's like, what? I did say babes, like plural.
Yeah.
But yeah, he has a good point. It's like, damn, girl, fucking, quite a bit of self-esteem.
I know, definitely.
But yeah, they break off from everyone else. Because Jackie's making it pretty obvious. Like, she's like, she's dancing with him a little bit, but like her goal is basically just to like sleep with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then she kind of like looks at Shauna when she like breaks off from everyone else.
Kind of showing
like yeah.
Kind of showing like you're the reason I'm doing this type of thing. So, you know.
When I'm having sex with Travis, I'll be thinking of you the whole time.
I hate to say it, but that was probably
no homo.
That was probably the case, though. Like,
Yeah.
Fucking
when Jeff's thinking, when Shauna was sleeping with Jeff, she was thinking about Jackie, and when Jackie was sleeping with Travis, she was thinking about Shauna.
What do you think Shauna was thinking when she was sleeping with Adam?
Still about Jackie. Well, we know that because when her and Adam were jumping off that bridge, he saw Jackie.
Yeah, they weren't having sex, though, were they?
But then they had sex immediately after.
That's true.
So, I shit you not. I'm joking, but, like, actually, like, fucking, this whole thing could have been avoided if Jackie and Shauna just cut out the middleman and slept with each other.
Oh, there's a middleman that almost gets cut out, all right.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's the fucking, middleman, quite literally. Fucking Jeff, Adam, and Travis are the middlemen.
And two of them get cut out, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, almost. One of them, yes. Two.
Oh, I get it. I get it.
So
took me a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost by the same person.
I know, right? God, Shauna, man, fucking chill out.
Yeah.
So basically, everyone starts getting high off their minds. Oh, Ben and Natalie kind of break away from everyone else as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because Natalie's like, hey, I got actual booze like stashed away, and Ben is like, oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like. Ben wants to get away from Misty, and obviously Natalie's like upset that Travis is like hanging out with Jackie.
I like the bond that Ben and Natalie like form. Like they have like some. Yeah,
because they started like a friendship last episode. Now they're kind of like also doing it this episode.
And it makes sense that like the friendships become stronger because it's been a few weeks. So
yeah,
so that's cool.
So yeah, they break up from everyone else and start drinking. And then Ben starts to like kind of spaz out a little bit, and you can kind of tell that the mushrooms are starting to take effect.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Whoa, shit! I think Misty like poisoned me again."
Mm-hmm.
And and Natalie. Well, it's weird. Natalie doesn't even react when he says that.
Well, don't forget. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, she said.
Because he didn't tell anybody about that.
Yeah, so that was weird. Because she just mentioned, I think she poisoned all of
She
us.
says, I think she poisoned all of us, and she's like, get ready for a trip.
And I like that callback because the first episode at that party she was on shrooms, so like that was kind of a callback. So,
and then they kind of start tripping out, and I'll just say their whole plot line because it's kind of disconnected from everything else. What's funny, everyone else is acting fucking nuts, and then we cut back to Natalie and Ben. I like the cuts in this episode because again we saw, like it'll show everyone else acting fucking nuts, and then it cuts back to Ben and Natalie just like having like a pretty normal acid trip, basically, where Natalie is like kind of crying, and she's like saying like, "Oh my god, I'm such a mess over a guy," and Ben is like being all like, "Yo, dude, but like love is like the meaning of life. It's why we're here." And it's like, he even acts like a movie. He's like, "Oh my god, Natalie, go to Travis right now. Tell him how you feel." He's being all dramatic.
I loved it, yeah.
And then she legit like gets up and like runs to go find Travis.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stays there to chill. And then when everyone is like at the campsite like tripping out, Misty like realizes that everyone's like high, and then like gets up and like stumbles to go and try to find Ben.
Yeah.
Again, like I think I mentioned it. Like I think the implication is like she was gonna get Ben high to like rape him.
Yeah. I also forget if we talked about this on camera or off camera. I think it's kind of fucked up. I think it probably was off camera. Actually, we probably just talked about it now, but I'll just say it again. Like Misty doesn't seem like. Also, to be fair, I think Misty only had the one cup. I think everyone, if like you see, like everyone,
she seems like out of it, but like not as much as everyone else.
Yeah, because everyone else is just down in it. By the way, we should mention this is bad for Shauna too because she's pregnant. You can't even have alcohol like at all when you're pregnant. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, just having drugs and alcohol. They just.
I know the winning combo. Yeah. But again, Shauna thinks she's gonna die out here anyway, so she's probably like, "Fuck it."
I'm just pointing this.
Well, and also like Shauna literally tried to fucking stick a coat hanger up inside of her to kill it.
There's a reason I'm putting this up, so just want to point that out. So.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask. Well, I was thinking about asking you, but I wasn't sure. I was like, is this gonna like fuck with the kid? So but I imagine it would.
Yeah, so there's a reason I'm putting this up.
You know what? Because they're bringing they're kind of leaning more and more towards the cannibalism thing. Like they're kind of bringing it up more. And as we find out, Sean and Jeff read about some pretty messed up things in Shauna's journal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kind of bring it up now. When I start eating people, and they mention they don't have the resources to take care of a kid out there. Yeah. I think if Shauna has the kid, they're gonna eat it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, but like, do you want to show that on TV? Is that a type of thing you want to show on TV? Like that probably.
Well, they would probably like kind of cut away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, you'd be surprised at how much you can get away with, because we're gonna watch Star Wars at some point. Oh, and that's a movie for kids, right? There's a scene in one of the movies where it's heavily implied someone murders a room full of children.
And why is and they let kids watch that?
Yeah. It's a movie for kids, but it's heavily implied that one of the characters murders a bunch of children. Well, Owen, remember that quote I said? I killed them all, not just the men, but the women and the children too.
So
that's from Star Wars, a movie for kids.
Did you watch Star Wars as a kid then?
Yeah.
What did you think when they said that? Like,
I was like, I was confused. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah. So again, Owen, that's a movie for kids, quote unquote. Yeah, I feel like listen, the power of cutting away. Listen, if you just don't show it, if you just heavily imply it and then cut away, you're fine.
There you go. But then mention it anyways.
So I'm making that prediction that they're gonna maybe Shauna will have like a stillborn, like it'll die, and then they'll like eat basically what little is left of the kid.
Okay.
Like, so either she'll have the kid and then they'll kill it and eat it, or the kid will like die anyway and they'll eat it, the corpse, basically.
All right.
That's my prediction. So Misty kind of wanders off from the camp to try and find Ben. And then Misty was like peeping on him while he was like giving that speech about love. And then Misty's like, "Oh my God, Ben, I love you too. We should be together." And then like pounces on him and tries to like make out with him and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he like basically pushes her off and he's like, "Misty, no, like I am gay." And again, I was waiting for him to say this, and Misty still like not get it.
You had to like say it like a few times.
The face she gives, he screams it. He's like, "I'm gay, 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 gay," and he's like, "You hear that, Mom and Dad and God? I'm gay." And he's like, "I love Gary." I guess is the name of his boyfriend. Paul. He loves your dad, Owen. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or our grandfather, I guess.
Could be both. Why not?
Yeah, it could be both. Yeah. He had a lot of condoms on him.
Yeah. So I don't know why.
Yeah. And then the face Misty gives is legit. It's funny. I said this off camera. When everyone was clapping for Van and Taissa like coming out as gay, I was looking for Misty to like be the only one not clapping.
That'd be awesome.
Like the face Misty was given. Obviously, it's because like she's upset that Ben doesn't love her. But fucking, like I was just waiting for Misty to be like, "Oh, you're gay," and fucking murder him.
I think the best joke he made out of the whole thing was like, it shows Misty clap. No, it shows everyone clapping, but Misty says to Ben, "What about these guys, huh? Like, what about these?"
Yeah, get a load of these guys, huh? Glad that's not you, huh? Right? Glad you're straight, Ben.
Honestly, if you made Yellowjackets like a parody of Yellowjackets, like a comedy, that should totally be a scene that's like in it type of thing.
Yeah, we're missing like get a load of these guys, huh? And then I don't know if this was the stew, but later on we see Misty kind of watching what happened with everyone else in the bushes, and she has like stuff on her face.
I don't know what that was about. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, is that blood?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess we'll find out next episode. The scene happens at night, so I couldn't tell if she had that on her face before.
I had the TV on like during the day. I had to like close the shade so I could see it at night, and I had to like walk over to see. But I think
it also could have been the makeup because we saw Misty putting on like lipstick.
Yeah.
Earlier, and then she tried to like make out with Ben, so the lipstick might have gotten smeared.
I don't know. I think we could have seen this through like somebody else's like perspective too, and it looked like blood, but it was actually like the stew type of thing, like through like So, I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of it for their little plot because it was pretty disconnected from everything else. Now, everyone else was.
I remember you said, by the way, because everything else we're about to talk about is wild and just strange. I want to point out to you that what happens in this episode has nothing on Kiss Sis episode 5, and no one was on shrooms then, type of thing.
Right, except for the fucking writers when they made that shit.
Nah, I don't think so. Probably not.
Yeah, they're just naturally like that. They just woke up and decided to make that fucking episode.
Yeah. So I do want to point this out. This is weird, but in like a good way. I want to come back to it, type of thing. It's weird. I don't want to ever watch this again.
Yeah.
Because I want you.
Well, it's funny. I like pointed out. I texted you last night, like 5 a.m. Like, what the fuck was that episode? But like, I meant it in a good way.
Yeah, but
where it was very fucking strange.
I mean, even still, when I saw this episode, even at the time, because we had seen that one episode of Kiss Sis, I think at the time, it still had nothing even in the first episode of like Kiss Sis. Like,
oh yeah, Kiss Sis is like in a league of its own when it comes to fucking strange shit.
There's nothing on episode 3 of Lauren Sweets. There's nothing on that. So
I haven't seen that.
no, of Kiss.
Yeah. Kiss This. Okay, wow, you remember the name of the episode? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
When you said that, I'm like, oh, is that a show? And I was like, Sweets. Oh, that one.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
You know what's weird? I remember that one, but I don't remember the name of episode 5. So
yeah, fucking. I think we were even debating like which of those episodes was fucking stranger.
you know, what I would have loved Kita's dad. I would have loved Kita's dad to be like in the woods, like watching the background with that smile on his face, just watching them go.
Yeah, him and Adam are just behind a tree waiting for a moment to come in.
Kita's dad's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, Kita's dad is great. Like him and Adam, they're always around the corner, always watching over.
But I just want to point this out. While you're about to talk about it's weird, but it's got nothing on Kiss Sis, just nothing.
But in the worst way possible. Where this is, like you said, this is great. I want to come back and watch this scene. Kiss Sis is like, please, dear God, fucking wipe it from my mind.
Let me just take. I'll take a look right now. Let's take a look of that Kiss Sis episode when we came back to it. Because I haven't, I uploaded the video and everything like that. So the Kiss Sis episode 5. We watched and reviewed that. Well, we reviewed it 5 months ago.
Wow, that long ago? That's crazy.
Yeah, because we had the name of that episode. I'm sorry. That's a sign right there.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's so fucking funny.
But yeah, quite a few videos in. We just I don't think we came back to that Kiss Sis episode. We just reviewed the most recent episode of Kiss Sis like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So we didn't go back.
So yeah, we took, I remember we took a long ass break. You were even like, okay, look, after that one, we're not doing another Kiss This video for a while.
And then that Kiss This episode ended up being like disappointingly like underwhelming type of thing. Like
yeah. And we're like, okay, I guess we'll do the next one pretty soon because that one like was actually pretty tame.
But yeah, I know you just went off on a tangent. I just wanted to point out you're gonna say this shit is weird. I just underplayed all the stuff that happens, but when it happens here, it's got nothing on Kiss This episode 5. Nothing.
Oh god, yeah, that shit is that shit's like makes the Twilight Zone feel like fucking normal Variety Hour. God. So everyone's like tripping out. And everyone's pretty chill at first. Tice is like making weird poses, and everyone's like, "Look, Tice is like a tree," which is funny because obviously lady in the tree.
Yeah, that was a good look.
So I wonder if that was like, well, not foreshadowing, I guess, because we already knew about that.
Yeah,
just like a little callback, I guess.
I do like a lot of. They do a lot of. I didn't really notice this until we started talking about the episode, like in the review form. They did a lot of callbacks this episode, which I liked. Kind of reminds you of LVB season 7, where they did a lot of callbacks to like past LVB seasons.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good comparison. It is funny how we compare Red vs. Blue and Yellowjackets a lot, but like the shows are so different.
Yeah. I mean, I think we just watched RVB, so that's why. But a lot of shows.
Fine, well, I'm saying you pointed that out last episode where we bring up Red vs. Blue a lot and Yellowjackets and Red vs. Blue. Like it's because we watch them at the same time that we're noticing these comparisons.
Yeah,
but
there's other shows.
Funny.
There's other shows that do them, like Breaking Bad. I think did a few like callbacks, like in the later years and type of thing and stuff. So yeah,
I'm just saying that's a really fitting comparison. Yeah, I wouldn't even notice that. So everyone's and then it's a little later in the day. It's like dark out now. Everyone's kind of just lying around, like still tripping out. And Javi's there. Javi's there. I'm like, oh my god, Javi, you're in the show. Holy shit,
you exist.
You exist. He doesn't get involved in any of the shit that happens though.
He didn't go back to town. I noticed too.
Javi is me. Javi is just fucking on the outskirts, minding his own business. And when everyone else is doing all this crazy bullshit, he's like, you know what? Not my problem.
I like to think off camera, he's on his phone, just like chilling on his Switch, just playing Switch.
As we said, it's like a joke in parodies. Whenever they're stuck somewhere, they'll have like one bar, and they can make one call, and they make a call for like something stupid.
Yeah, I think that's what
Javi has like a full bar. His phone's on 100%. He's good to go. He's just chilling.
He's got that like battery type of charger where he can just charge up whenever he wants type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking Javi.
He's got like a full on like freezer in there, like full of food that only he's allowed to have, type of thing. Like, you know.
Yeah. You know that SpongeBob episode where SpongeBob gets that horse, and like SpongeBob is like crying, telling the horse to like go away. Patrick like shows up, doesn't say anything, and then walks away.
Yeah.
That's Javi. Everyone else is like crying, screaming, like, "Oh my god!" Javi just like shows up, doesn't say anything, and then walks away.
Yep.
The couple of girls there are like, "Hey, where is everyone?" And I'm like, "Yeah, where are the fucking extras? You know, like it's just you guys. If it's only the named characters here."
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned that Natalie and Ben went away. And like they seem to be like good friends, and that's when like Misty like gets up and like leaves everyone. And then they're like, "Hey, where's Travis and Jackie?" And they're like, "Oh, they left too." And Javi is like, "What are they doing? You know, like what are they doing together? I wonder." And then Lottie, so it's kind of like that Ben 10 review where with Last Laugh. Where we were debating, like, where did Ben begin in Ghost Freak? Like, where did Ben end and Ghost Freak begin?
Well,
or it's vague on, like, exactly how much is Ben, how much is Ghost Freak?
Well, I think it's more so, Hunted is more so what is the debate. Because at Last Laugh, it's pretty clear in Ben 10. Hunted is kind of more of the debate.
Oh, yeah, I guess, I guess both. But, yeah, it's like debatable on, like, how much of that is Ghost Freak, how much of that is Ben.
Yeah.
This is... It's heavily implied this is like supernatural stuff going on, like influencing the girls. But like it's vague how much of this is the shrooms, like how much are they just like tripping out, and how much of this is like a supernatural thing going on.
And also, I talked about this. I mentioned this off camera. The question is the reason I question if it is supernatural is because Lottie's the one that kind of really brings it to like the next level, because she's the one that kind of is like stealing this, because as we know,
that's why I was gonna bring it up that like Lottie is, everyone's like questioning where Jackie and Travis are, and they're like, oh, they went, and then Lottie is like, we have to stop them, he doesn't belong to her.
Yeah. So
and then everyone else kind of like follows her.
Yeah. And like Lottie's the one that like kind of takes is the one that takes charge doing all of this stuff that happens too. So that's why you kind of that's why you question whether it even is supernatural a little bit, because Lottie is the one that really...
it's like the seance where she was the one to freak out.
Yeah.
So it's like, is it like schizophrenic, or was she actually like possessed?
Mm-hmm. So here is, and because she has schizophrenia, obviously it's not the best idea to mix that with shrooms, especially since she's off of medication. So that could be a reaction type of thing. So.
But
I'm not.
So I think that was really smart of the writers to like have them be high.
Yeah.
Because again, I like that they're keeping it vague on like how much of this is like supernatural, how much of it is like that's a coincidence, or like it could be explained by like other shit.
I do want to mention too. I'm not saying that it wasn't supernatural. It's just like you can make the argument that it's not supernatural also if you don't think it is supernatural.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I like. I like that they're keeping it vague.
Yeah. Like
again with the seance, like it's like, was that supernatural, or was it like, or just like like was it just a coincidence? I
think they did this one better because here you knew Lottie had, well, unless you didn't read the wiki, you knew Lottie had schizophrenia here. So.
Again, they have not made that clear in the show that she has schizophrenia.
Yeah.
Or like, it's presumed to be schizophrenia.
Yeah.
I still think it's supernatural. Like, there's, with the way others are acting, like, there's a clear difference between, like, again, like you said, Lottie's kind of steering the ship. But, I'll talk about it. So Lottie kind of goes off and everyone follows her, except for Javi. Javi kind of just stays there, laying on the ground, tripping out.
And they like show that like the ground was turning white, like like they zoom in on like the grass, and it so that it was like white, so it shows like winter's coming type of thing.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Okay, that's a good catch.
Yeah.
And then they all start like running through the woods and start like howling. They hear like howls. And they also start like howling and like making animal noises.
Mm-hmm.
and they're like running to the cabin. I was confused because I thought they were all outside the cabin. I guess this is like a little farther away.
Yeah. Which I guess makes sense because I don't think all the decorations that they had, they wouldn't have been able to, I guess, do at the cabin, I guess. So
yeah. So while all this crazy shit is happening, Jackie, who is not.
I mean, to be fair, too, by the way, they could have been closer to the cabin, but because they're on shrooms, I think they made it look like maybe they were further away. You don't know.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All this is like super vague. Jackie takes Travis to the attic, and not super romantic, like at all. Where she's like, "Oh yeah, pretty creepy attic, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I guess." And then she like kisses him, and he's like, "I don't know. I'm like kind of. I think I'm in love with Natalie." And then she starts like saying all like, she says like, "Yeah, well, I believed in love too, and like, your first time should be special, but like, we're all just empty husks. Life has no meaning. My best friend was sleeping with Jeff."
Yeah.
And Travis was like, "Oh shit, dude, I'm sorry."
This is fucked up too, just because he didn't even want to do it because of Natalie, and Jackie kind of ended up talking him into it. This was fucked up.
I was like watching this, and I was like, Jackie is fucking going off the rails. Like she's like going about like life is pointless. We're all gonna die. We're all empty husks.
Yeah.
Life, love doesn't exist. And then she ends it off this big rant with like, "So the choice is yours. Do you want to sleep together?" And I was like, Jackie, that is the biggest fucking mood killer possible. I was like, I'd be like, if I were in Travis's shoes, I'd be like, okay, after all that, I wouldn't be able to like, I wouldn't be able to have sex even if I wanted to.
Well, he was. He was somehow. That's what finally got him.
And then he starts making out with her, and they fuck. And I'm like, Travis, you couldn't do well for Natalie, but that's what gets you to perform well.
I guess he just likes the misery. I guess so.
I guess. Oh, the misery.
And that's what makes it cooler, though, because like, now Jackie just did some. Jackie just pretty much did to Natalie what Shauna did to her. And honestly, I would say this is like worse than what Shauna does, because I don't think she did this to hurt Natalie, but it's like she wanted someone to feel her pain and she wanted to bring Natalie down to her level type of thing.
I don't know. I feel like what Shauna did is still worse because, Jackie and Natalie aren't close.
Yeah.
Whereas Shauna was like actively like, and this was like seems like this is like a one-time thing. Whereas and also like if they're out in the woods, like I gotta get where Jackie's coming from, like all the stress, and she thinks she's gonna die. And Travis is like the only guy around she could like sleep with. Whereas Shauna, like she was just shitty for that. She was like, they weren't out in the woods gonna die, and she was sleeping with Jeff like regularly. It seemed like.
Yeah.
And at least Jackie wasn't really hiding it. She was like dancing with Travis, and they went off together. And when everyone, and then like in a little bit, when everyone confronts her, she's like, "It's none of your business." And it's like, "Okay, yeah, we slept together, so what?"
Yeah, that's true.
She even says like, Natalie doesn't own Travis. So they're both bad. I guess the difference is like Shauna is like smarmier about it, I guess, in a weird way.
I guess so, yeah.
It's kind of why I said like it's why I like Natalie and Misty more than Shauna. Is like they're fucked up, but at least they're kind of like upfront about it.
Yeah, definitely.
Shauna like acts like a good person, but she's like fucking just as bad.
Both Shaunas too.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's the thing. Seeing her in the future, we know she doesn't really like change.
Yeah, at least Thaisa tries to change, and then Natalie kind of not embraces it, but like doesn't just owns up to it type of thing when she's fucked up. So
yeah.
And Missy's just Misty.
Yeah, Shauna kind of just does shitty things and acts like they're not shitty, and acts like she has like the moral high ground.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So Jackie and Travis sleep together, and then after the fact, Jackie's like, "So that was sex, huh?" And then Travis is kind of like looking away, and I thought he was like being mopey, like he was with Natalie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's just like the shrooms kicked in for him.
Yeah. I wonder why they took
and
long.
Because Jackie thinks he's getting upset, and he's like, "Hey, I didn't mean it like that. It was nice."
At first I was thinking, like, did it take longer for the shrooms to kick in for him? But obviously, I think we saw the Jackie Travis stuff, like, it was happening at the same time, like, before the shrooms kicked in for them, and then after they had sex, that's when the shrooms kicked in.
Yeah.
Like, all the timeline were just meshing up type of thing.
Yeah. And then Jackie, like, hears all of them outside, and she's like, "Oh shit, they're here." And then they, like, get dressed and go downstairs. Well, it's funny. Travis is like, where are we? Where did we go?
Yeah.
And Jackie's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Because again, she dates someone who didn't eat the shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it brings into question about the supernatural thing. Because Jackie is, like, completely normal. Like, she's acting normal.
Yes.
And she's the only one who didn't eat the shrooms. But, keep in mind, Misty, Ben, and Natalie all ate the shrooms. And they're all, like, acting normal.
Ish.
Well, like, they're acting like as you would expect someone to act on shrooms.
Yes, definitely.
And, I mean, Travis is also, like, he's out of it, but, like, not as much as them.
Yeah, they're like really
But then,
out
like
of
you
it.
said, it does bring into question, like, Lottie's kind of, like, egging everyone on.
Yeah.
But, as we're going to see, she was egging, like, Van and Taissa on. But then Van and Taissa kind of just, like, fucked off.
Yeah. Well, literally.
Yeah, fucked off, literally. They, like, went to go have sex somewhere else. So, like, Lottie was egging them on at first, but then they, like, stopped and left.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there, type of thing.
So, like, everyone else is, like... So, like, it does bring into question, like, is it the shrooms? Well, Jackie's acting normal, and she didn't eat the shrooms. But then again, Lottie, Natalie, and Ben are acting as, fine. And it's like, well, maybe it's Lottie egging them on. Well, it's like, well, yeah, but Van and Taissa are, they don't really participate once things get super crazy.
I do like that we could have a conversation, like, about it, though, so it's, like, vague.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad it's, like, kept vague, and, like, you can make an argument for both sides.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because, the girls all, like, storm in, and they're all, like, acting, like, huffing and puffing, and, like, acting, like, animalistic towards, like, Jackie, and she's like, "What the fuck's wrong with you all?" And Travis is still kind of just standing there, like, spaced out, and he's like, "Where are we? Are any of us really here?"
Yeah.
I wonder if what he's saying here is, like, supposed to, like, mean something, or if it's just showing he's, like, out of it.
I know, that is a good question.
Like, I wonder if any of what he's saying is, like, foreshadowing. Because presumably what, like, the girls are saying is meant to, like, like, it's meant to, like, hint at stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or, like, it's supposed to, like, have more meaning.
Yeah, like, more consequences for the future, yeah.
Because everyone's, like, pressing Jackie. It's like, "What were you doing up there?" And she's like, "None of your business." And then they, like, grab Jackie, and they see, like, blood on her dress. Like, obviously, because she, she's a virgin, so she, like, she bled.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Jackie's like, "Shauna, help me." And it seems like Shauna is, like, trying to, like, snap out of it a little bit. Like she's, like, less out of it than the others.
Yeah. But she doesn't really help it either.
Yeah. And then, and again, like you said, it's like Lottie making a lot of, like, these statements where she's like, Travis didn't belong to you. And then, Jackie is like, "Okay, well, Natalie doesn't own him."
Mm-hmm.
And then she says, like, "Not Natalie."
Yeah, so I don't know what that meant.
Yeah. And then she, like, locks Jackie in the closet. And she says, "You're not needed anymore."
Yeah, that was a...
So again, how much of this is, like, Lottie being schizophrenic, and how much of this is, like, something supernatural is, like, speaking through Lottie?
Yeah, definitely. And plus, Lottie gets visions, as we've heard, saw in the past.
Yeah. So, if we're assuming, that this isn't just Lottie being schizophrenic, and this is, like, actually something supernatural speaking through Lottie, then whatever this is, it's interesting because as I thought about last episode, like, was Van like did whatever did like Van get brought back to life? And, like, she was actually dead and she like got revived.
Right.
So whatever this is, you know, like, it's not that it wants them to die necessarily. It like wants something from them.
Yeah, we don't know what it is, especially too because you know when they say we don't need Jackie anymore, like what does that mean? Like what's gonna happen?
Because it also implies like it wanted Jackie, but now that Jackie has slept with Travis, it doesn't want her anymore.
Yeah.
And like you said off camera, it's like, okay, well, what about Natalie and Travis? Like, if they slept together, would this supernatural entity like not give a shit about Natalie anymore? And it's weird because it doesn't care about Jackie anymore, but it like actively wants Travis.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, even before, it was like it wasn't even really focused on Jackie. It was saying like Travis doesn't belong to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't really care about Jackie. It just cared that Jackie was gonna take Travis.
Yeah, so I don't know, like what is the supernatural thing like want from Travis too? Type of
And
thing.
this is interesting because again, we know in the future Travis got killed. So it's like, okay, is this related to that?
Yeah.
But I mean, you said it ends up being a plot hole, but Natalie said Travis never believed in any of that supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So that is interesting.
Yeah.
And then Lottie starts making out with Travis like in front of Jackie before she like locks her in the closet. And then Jackie is like, Shauna, help me. And then Shauna just starts making out with Travis too.
Yeah.
It's funny because with what Jackie said earlier, but like, hey, isn't it like every guy's dream to like be surrounded by a bunch of babes?
Oh, he got that.
And then,
yeah.
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 And yeah, everyone starts making out with them. Not including like the two characters who I don't remember their names. And they like sit them down. They start like stripping them and like making out with them, and, like kissing them all over. And I was like, oh, are like Tyson and Van like making out with him? Because like, if they were, I feel like that would like make me lean more towards like a supernatural thing possessing them.
Yeah, so I'm glad they were left out of it, type of thing.
But yeah, like so they just start making out with each other, and that again makes me think it's more so shrooms. Because like, yeah, obviously they're gay. So if like a supernatural thing was like making them make out with Travis, that would like make me lean more towards being supernatural.
Yes.
But because they weren't really interested in Travis and were like just making out with each other, that again makes me go towards like the shrooms.
Definitely.
Because, you know, like if they got high on shrooms, it would make sense that they would just like start banging each other and not like, and they wouldn't pay any attention to Travis.
Yeah, and like you said,
because, you know, shrooms can make you go straight.
Yeah, exactly.
But then things get pretty weird. So, I mean, they're already pretty weird, but weirder. Where we get Travis's point of view, where things are all like, you know, like foggy and like tripping out, and he's like seeing things, and then he sees Shauna like with eyes like pitch black and like eating his neck.
Oh yeah.
And later we see like he has like a cut on him from like the knife, but like it was hard to tell. It seemed like he had like a mark above him as well, like on his neck.
Yeah, I couldn't see because of the dog and stuff like that.
So I was wondering, like, was Shauna actually like biting into him?
Yeah, same.
And he kept saying like, "Stop, get off of me!" And then he eventually like breaks free and starts running away. And then we get everyone else's point of view where they see him as a deer.
Mm-hmm. And
this, you know, and what Lottie said earlier about like, "Don't worry, we'll have food soon." Like it's approaching.
So
this is probably what they meant, where they're gonna like eat Travis,
yeah,
or they see him as food.
Yeah, definitely.
And they start chasing after him with like weapons. And poor Travis must be so fucking confused. Well, also we get his point of view, and he sees them as like monsters hunting him.
I like that. Yeah, like, you know, he's surrounded by all these women, but like he's seeing them as like ravenous, like cannibals, pretty much. So
yeah.
What was cool up here though is the Yellowjackets theme song started playing during this chase scene, which was cool. I liked that.
Yeah. And then we see Javi in the bushes. He's like crouched down. I'm like, Javi, what the fuck are you doing in there?
What?
Again, he just fucking shows up. Yeah. I was expecting Adam to fucking be in the bush next to him. He's like, Shauna, what's going on? And I like that he called out to Shauna because Shauna's been the one to like kind of talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shauna, in like a deep, like demonic voice says "run" to him, and he kind of books it. I like how Javi like sees his brother getting fucking chased and being hunted, and he's like, "All right, bro, good luck to you." And he fucking runs.
Javi's awesome, man. He's the man. Like,
I love again. Javi is me in this situation. He sees all this crazy shit happen. And he's like, "All right, you know what? Not my problem. I'm just gonna go. All right, you guys have fun."
What I liked about this, we talked about this off screen too. Like, could this be something supernatural with the way Shauna said run? But also too, I did say like it could be that Javi's reacted differently to the shrooms than everyone else did since he's younger and everything like that. So
yeah.
But what I liked about this,
and from Javi's point of view, Shauna had like a ton of like red stuff on her mouth, like presumably blood.
Yeah. And
like later on, like she doesn't have that on her face anymore.
So it could have been the shrooms.
Yeah.
Should I say what we talked about Javi off camera now?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I couldn't help myself. I had to give it away to AJ. After this moment right here, they do a storyline where Javi goes like missing, and I think that's awesome. They did it because literally like the whole show he is missing. So like that's kind of like
all right. It's like what has changed.
So it's just funny that they're just gonna like mention it like we should give a shit that he's missing when he's
I know, right?
Hasn't been there at all. Like, So I think that's awesome. He just goes missing. So and I just think it's funny too. Like I like to think too. I think I said this off air. Like, did the writers just pick up on the fact that Javi wasn't in it that much? So like, are they just gonna be like, did they just write a storyline? Be like, yeah, let's just write a storyline. So to give an excuse where we don't have to like, put him on the show as much anymore. We'll just have him go missing. I kind of hope too this keeps happening. Like he comes back and then just goes missing like again, and they keep telling that like story type of thing. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. They just keep forgetting that he goes missing all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But eventually they're chasing after Travis, and he trips and falls, and he hits his head on the dirt, I guess. Well, he gets knocked out, and I'm like, I couldn't really tell where he hit his head on.
Yeah, again, it was dope. You couldn't really see.
But I was like, from when I saw it, it just looked like he fell in the dirt. I'm like, man, that must have been some tough dirt to knock you out.
Yeah.
But then he wakes up, and we see Lottie wearing the deer thing for that. That's like in the promo images from the show, and we saw Misty wearing it in like the flash forward, like when it's winter.
Yep.
And he tells Shauna to cut him, basically. And and from Shauna's point of view, we see like she's seeing him as like a deer, and she stuffed a pine cone in his mouth to like shut him up.
Mm-hmm.
And she is like cutting into him. Like we see a little bit, like he does have like a big cut mark on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's funny, we saw this scene earlier in this episode and during the present, but like the head was cut off, so like we couldn't see who Shauna had at knife point.
Yeah, I liked that.
I was surprised we got such an immediate payoff for it. I thought this was gonna be like, this is gonna be like a season 2 thing. And no, like we found out what happened in this episode.
That was cool. I liked that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Shauna again, because we saw her like hesitating back in the cabin. We see her like kind of like hesitating here, like she seems like she's only kind of partially out of it. And Natalie, when she was looking for Travis after what Ben told her, goes to the cabin, and she heard Jackie like banging on the door. She finds her, and then Jackie's like, she doesn't say anything. She just like runs away. But presumably she like told Natalie like they're acting weird and they like are doing something to Travis.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm guessing she left out the fact that she just fucked Travis.
Definitely.
But yeah, Natalie and Jackie show up at that moment, and they're like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" Shauna like breaks free or whatever trance she's in, and she's like, "Oh my god, Jackie! Like I don't know what I was doing." She like drops the knife, and Jackie tells Natalie, like, "Hey, Natalie, grab the knife." So Natalie grabs the knife, and so like Travis gets free. Natalie's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?"
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And he kind of runs off. And I don't blame his reaction here. He's kind of just like he wants to get away from this. He's like, "Okay, look, I'm fine. I gotta like go."
Especially too, like he's probably like distraught, maybe a little embarrassed. You know.
Yeah, so like I'm saying, I don't think he's like upset with Natalie. I think he's just, yeah, I'm fine, thank you. I gotta like get away from this.
Yeah, which I have the same reaction.
You know, it's funny. I've like thought about like what I would do if I were like stranded out in the middle of nowhere with some people. And last night I was kind of in that. I was thinking like, like I would be against like the cannibalism. I would be like, no, we're not doing that. That's like fucking horrible. But like if I were in the situation with Travis where I'm like, okay, these people I'm with have tried to murder me, like I wouldn't be able to sleep. I would have to sleep with one eye open. Like I wouldn't be able to. Like I would be like terrified.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not gonna lie, I would be against again, I would be against cannibalism for like survival. But like if I were in Travis's point of view, I'd be like, I would need to kill these people. Like it's kind of like they'll kill me before like they'll kill me. Like I need to like kill them first.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious what Travis is like, how he'll be next episode.
Especially too, this explains like Travis's point of view of like why he kind of falls off the rails a little bit, like in the present. Like he probably thinks of this moment like a lot, type of thing. And
yeah,
it probably this probably fucked him up like mentally, like long term, and he's never really dealt with it. So, yeah, and that was everything in the past, pretty much. We don't really get anything more from it.
Oh, sorry, real quick, I was gonna say, Lottie like grabs Natalie and is like saying like it's in all of us, it's in you, it's in him, and then which again is it's like how much of that is schizophrenia and how much of that is like there is like a supernatural thing possessing them.
Yeah, definitely.
And then Natalie like knocks her over and says like, I'm sick of your crazy shit, Lottie. And the Lottie just starts like cackling. And then as I said, we see Misty like kind of watching from the bushes.
Yeah. And Misty probably thinks it's the shrooms too, so she's thinking like she caused all this pretty much. So
so that was everything in the past. I loved it. This is definitely my favorite episode so far. This is like crazy and weird. And again, I like how they're keeping it vague. How much of it was shrooms, how much of it was like the supernatural.
I think what they did really well here, now that we've talked about it all, is once the shroom stuff happens, they don't cut back and forth between the past and the present anymore. They let it all play out like all at once, like in the past. Like, they cut to the present till really the end of the episode. So I like that, like, because it would have been kind of weird if they went, from that stuff to like the, the present. So I really like that they kept it all in the past.
Geez, I just talked for like an hour and a half, so.
And I'm not told you it was gonna be the reverse type of thing. So
Red versus Blue season 7 all over again.
Yeah. But now we get to my stuff. So a couple of quick things before, because the Shauna thing goes a bit, but I'll just talk about the Misty Natalie stuff real quick since it's quick. We see in the past Natalie gets a text from Susan that she's kind of still looking into Travis's like thing. So I like that it shows that they haven't forgotten about that. Like that's still like a thing because they didn't really do anything with it this episode. But that kind of makes sense because this isn't Lon, after that conversation. So I can kind of understand.
Yeah, this seems to pick up this picks up immediately after where last episode ended.
Yeah, so it makes sense that like they.
Which is funny because again, the past keeps like jumping, like doing time skips, but like everything in the present day has been like pretty like one after the other.
Well. We do get kind of like a little bit of unless Shauna was just lying there, but they mentioned something timeline related, but I think Shauna might have just been lying.
Well, yeah, I think Shauna was lying at that, but like I'm just saying there haven't been like crazy jumps for like weeks or months. You know?
But it makes sense though that like that person wouldn't have Travis's like bank info like figured out. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. So, and then also we see that Misty and Jessica Roberts are forming like a bond a little bit. I like this. They're kind of Jessica Roberts is telling her about like her time as like a journalist and everything like that, and Misty's like fascinated with the stories. Jessica Roberts is kind of trying to like motivate Misty a little bit to kind of tell their story type of thing, and mentions she kind of guilt trip a little bit and mentions that like after everything you did out there, the fact that you guys don't really keep in contact anymore kind of shows like that makes you question if they really like truly care about you and everything like that. And obviously, I know she's just saying that to like kind of get at Misty, but it ends up kind of being correct because obviously they all met with the blackmail like without Misty. They didn't include Misty in with it at all. So it kind of made that. What I liked about this scene too was right after they showed that, because Jessica Roberts mentions all like the stuff they did out there. It kind of showed like all the like Misty setting up the shroom things, like it cut back to that, so that was good. And then like before that, like Misty is getting ready for the high school reunion and like trying on all of the makeup and everything like that, and getting like the reporter's perspective on it. And, the reporter's kind of able to get some information out of Misty. Like, she kind of mentions the cannibalism stuff. And she kind of mentions, like, hey, it's not too bad. Other people have done stuff out there. And she mentions, like, past plane crashes and things like that. And Misty's like, huh. And Misty, she kind of mentions, like, Misty would get more sympathy than anyone else since she's the one that's actually coming forth with that story. Which is kind of fucked up, but I hate to say it, that's actually true. But I expect when I watch this at the time that, Misty's telling her all this stuff, but they're going to do like a bait and switch where, I don't know what you think, but, like where Misty's going to do something to the reporter anyways, so the story doesn't like like Misty would say something drastic happened or something. And then like she's gonna do something to the. What do you think's gonna happen with that when it comes to like? Do you see Misty doing something to the reporter? Or do you think like they'll actually get the story out there, type of thing?
I don't think they'll get the story out there because I mean we have a whole. I doubt this reporter's gonna be in the basement for a whole nother season.
Yeah,
and it's like I feel like if the story gets out there, like I mean they're gonna reveal to us slowly like what happened out there, like the rest of it.
Right.
So like if it all goes public, like soon, like then there's not really much of a show left.
So I think so do you think she's gonna do something to the reporter where she'll mention the story and then like the reporter like Misty does something to the reporter? Or do you think what do you think?
I feel like the reporter's gonna die. Like Misty's gonna kill her.
Okay.
Because they're already like going to Misty to dispose of a body.
Yeah. So then, the only other like,
or maybe that's a good point. Misty gives like a fake story, and then to like get people off their backs.
Yeah, that'd be something. That I like that actually. So, and then we see Taissa still like struggling when it comes down to her campaign and everything like that. She's debating like why she's still even going through all of this, and her like publicist or like her campaign manager, whatever she is, is like kind of saying like, hey, the best manager. It's kind of fucked up. Like the campaign manager is like kind of like trying to make it Taissa not feel as bad, which again, she probably doesn't really know about the sleepwalking thing and things like that, so that's probably like why. So and then that's it. And then that's pretty much everything. That's all. That's kind of all the side. I mean, I mentioned all the side quests, but that was like a few scenes. But everything. This really is carried by Shauna, which I liked because that was a big complaint we had throughout the show, was like it doesn't really seem like Shauna's involved with the plot, so I like that this was all about Shauna this time around. So
yeah, I do like.
So we see it cuts right back. This is how the episode started. It cuts right back from how the present ended the last time, where Shauna is really upset with Jeff, and she's pressing like asking him who he is and everything like that, and she's not even like
Adam.
Who did I say, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh. But that's why I met Adam, and she's even questioning whether Adam's even like his real name. She's getting really upset with them, doing all this, how she's freaking out and everything like that. She's kind of having like a little bit of like PTSD, like visions type of thing, where it's showing like all of her. And I really like this too because it's also showing the show like kind of making more sense out of it. Like everything that we've been kind of saying about Adam of why he could have been the miller, like the hit and run, meeting up with her at the hotel, and everything like that. So I really like that. But she's also having like PTSD from like past episodes, and like it felt like she had like a little bit of a nervous breakdown, like a little bit, and like everything like from what we've seen from Yellowjackets was all hitting her. And what I really liked about this is, you saw stuff from like season 2, and obviously I know this because I've seen season 2, and you saw stuff from probably that we haven't even that I haven't even seen yet from Yellowjackets, but you saw
we saw like some stuff from like the flash forward in episode 1. It seems like, and then obviously, as I said, we saw like that scene where we get later in the episode where she has the knife at Travis's neck.
Yeah.
There were 2 big things that like I am curious about. One is like it's winter, so I thought it was like the episode 1 scene at first, but then like I rewatched it and I don't remember it. It seems like it's Shauna like taking some like snow off of like some black object, like wiping snow off it.
Yeah,
and then one where it's present day Shauna, where she has some guy tied to like a bed, and then she just has like a shocked look on her face.
Was that Rose? Is that Rose?
Yeah, I know. She has Charlie Sheen tied to the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was curious because, a lot of this PTSD stuff is from past Shauna. So seeing, like, present-day Shauna, something happening with her is interesting.
Which makes me question, are we going to get a season, like, showing all of them after the plane crash? Because that would be pretty interesting. Like, maybe...
Yeah. And this looks like, this is, like, the actress for present-day Shauna, so this couldn't have been, like, too long ago.
Yeah. And then, but yeah, she's like kind of upset about Adam, Also, I think she's upset at herself too, that she like feels like, Adam played her a little bit and everything like that, and she let it get this far type of thing. And then, this was when you were meant to think, Adam was, the blackmailer, because, she goes into, she's like looking for journals and things like that, and she goes into, one of the drawers, and Adam's like, wait, don't go in there. And you think it's going to be the journals, but what it is like he was looking up information about the Yellowjackets, like plane crash and everything like that. But obviously this was suspicious because, like, if he's not in Shauna's mind, if he's not the blackmailer, why is he looking up information about the plane crash and everything like that? And there was a big thing that, like, I didn't mention, like, she mentioned that, like, the code to get into the safe was the flight number for the plane. So, like, it makes sense that he would be like he'd be the blackmailer.
Which is funny. I think I mentioned that last time where, usually people like have passwords like be like dates or something that's like, that's, easy to remember or like important to them. So if the blackmailer was Jeff, it would make sense that Jeff would be able to like guess like important dates to Shauna.
Yeah.
For the code.
So, Adam, once he kind of sees that Shauna found the Yellowjacket stuff, is like, look, yes, I did do some research about you, but it was just because, like, I was just curious, and I was also just worried. I understand the trauma that you went through, and I just wanted to kind of understand what you were going through and everything like that. And at this point, Shauna grabs a knife and it points it at Adam. And Adam's kind of like trying to talk Shauna down a little bit, like, I like that, he's not like...
Sorry, real quick. Sorry, I just had like a little moment. I forgot about the postcards because they haven't really brought that up in so long. I thought that was tied to the blackmailing thing, but based on this, it seems like it's not.
Yeah. So, Adam, is trying to talk Shauna down, and during this, Shauna's still having visions, and during this, we see that it's, when it cuts, it's past Shauna that's there, like, as if, like, that's who Shauna was kind of, channeling at that moment type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like
present day Shauna, like, feels like she did, like, back when she was younger. Yeah.
I always like this, too, because, you don't really get to see the past characters mingle with the present ones that much, which makes sense, obviously, because it's just never going to happen. So I always like when we get those moments. So both Shaunas stab Adam and kill him. I'm making it sound like they were both there at the same time, and they just both took a knife and just stabbed him at once.
I know, right? Fucking double team.
Yeah,
Adam, rip Adam, our favorite boy, who's always around every corner at the worst possible moment.
Yeah. So, when I saw this at the time, I'm like, something's up here, because he never revealed that he was the blackmailer, but he also didn't reveal that he wasn't. Like, I think there's something more is going on here, and obviously you probably put two together because Adam never says like, yes, I was the blackmailer. He would have come clean before his death, and the fact that they killed him, I think it was like, yep. I think that shows there's gonna be something more to it here. So I like what confirmed it because I forgot what confirmed it to Shauna. Because when Shauna goes back to her house, she opens the safe and the journals are like back now and everything, like they're in the safe again.
Well, I also thought it was interesting how Shauna like was so straight faced when she killed Adam.
Yeah,
like she just seems like she seemed bored. Yeah. You know, she's just like
you know, Jeff is asking about, you know, what he should wear, like, homecoming and everything like that. And, you know, when Shauna sees her journals are back, I think she kind of, like, you know, puts two to two together and is like, well, the only other one that could have gone into my, you know, into the safe was probably Jeff. And then he also mentions, you know, the glitter, and he came home, like, right after, like, Adam and everything like that.
Yeah.
So he asks, Shauna asked Jeff where the glitter came from, and I love Jeff.
Keep talking. I gotta take a call.
Yeah. I love Jeff's reaction here because he mentions well, he doesn't really mention it. He goes silent for a good couple minutes, and he's trying to think of like stuff that he can like say, and you know about what he could say about like you know, but he doesn't deny it. He tells Shauna that like. You know, that he thought that he was going to lose the store, and he says that, you know, because he mentions that, you know, there's this new furniture store that came in that they already make their own furniture, and he ended up taking out, like, a loan, and he needed to find a way to, like, pay it back because we found out that, you know, Jeff took out a loan from a loan shark, and he figured that like Thaisa and Natalie would be able to get him the money, mainly Thaisa. So that's why he ended up being the blackmailer. And he mentioned that Shauna wasn't supposed to get involved with this or anything like that.
Which I guess I remember there was I wasn't sure if she got a text from the blackmailer as well, so I guess that answers the question.
Yeah. And that's why I did ask in the beginning, like a while ago, like, did Shauna ever get, like, a message? Because Jeff ended up being the blackmailer, so I'm wondering, like, if Shauna was lying there or not. I still forget, so we'll have to, like, if we ever do a Season 1 review, we'll just go back and look.
Yeah.
But, you know, Shauna mentions, like, you know, is this going to be, like, an issue? Is other loan sharks going to be an issue? And Jeff's like, no, like, it's been dealt with. It's dealt. We don't have to worry about this. Like, we're out of it now. And Shauna, you know, realizes, like, she killed the wrong person type of thing. And is just like, well, we're not completely out of it. And I like to let it cut and off screen. She just told Jeff about, like, Adam type of thing. Like, about how she killed Adam and everything like that. I like that, like, they did it off screen. I thought that was good. Before I kind of, before I say that you weren't here, so, like, what did you think when it was, because that sucks, we built up to this for a while, you didn't get to be here when I talked about it. What did you think when it was revealed that Jeff was the black, because you probably think, and did you like the...
I was happy that he was, that I was right. It was kind of an underwhelming reveal, though.
That's fair.
Like, I mean, I don't know, I guess I was expecting it to be a bit more dramatic. And also, Shauna just seemed like she didn't really... Again, she's just so straight-faced during all of this.
Yeah.
Where she goes to the closet, sees the journals are back, looks at the glitter, and she's like, "Hey, Jeff, is that you?" And he's like, yeah.
But what I do like about it was, like, I like that he's not, like, a villain out of it. Like, the reason he blackmails is just...
Yeah, I do like that, yeah. Like, he was going to lose the store. He got a loan from bad people, and he needed to pay them back, yeah.
And then, yeah, Shauna mentions, you know, that she killed Adam thinking he was the blackmailer because, you know, and this is where Shauna...
Oh, yeah, and again, like I was saying, like, I think it's definitely intentional where, like, the actress is, like, so, like straight-faced. Like, she just murdered her boyfriend who, like, she seemed like she got along with really well.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, hey, so honey, so I kind of murdered a guy.
Right.
And it's crazy how she's still trying to hide the fact that she, like, was having an affair with this dude.
Right.
Like Jeff is like, the guy who you rear-ended, why were you talking with him? And she's like, just we got coffee together.
Right.
It's like, Sean, are you really trying to hide it at this point?
Yeah, like there's really no hiding it at this point.
And legit, when Jeff is like upset that she murdered the guy and having an affair, I know it's become a joke. You said, but she was like, I can't believe you thought it was book club this whole time. I'm like, wow, Shauna, you're cracking jokes at now.
Yeah. And I love Jeff's reaction. Like, he's like, there's no book club? Like, that's the meme.
Like he still didn't piece it together. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But no, I liked this. And then later on, like, Jeff goes up to Shauna and says that, that he's going to turn himself into the police, and says that, he's going to make up a story where he mentions that, like, he just killed Adam because he was taking revenge for, like, sleeping with his wife and everything like that. And Shauna says, like, that's pretty much not going to work, because then if they start digging and investigate, like, the other stuff about the blackmailing, then it could lead to, like, the story coming out. So, like, pretty much that's not really, like, a good idea. Plus, Shauna really can't get away. Shauna's fingerprints is going to be left out, so that's also not going to really work, type of thing, because she's been there and everything.
Later. Well, I guess, yeah. Well, Taissa mentions that, like, Shauna's fingerprints and DNA is all over his apartment.
Yeah, so.
Well, like, I mean, that could be explained by with Jeff's story that, they were lovers and and Jeff killed the guy.
Right. But Shauna finally, like, Jeff is, like, in disbelief that, like, Shauna ended up, like, cheating on him and everything like that. And Shauna, like, mentions, like, well, it was only because you were cheating on me. Like, don't pretend and type of thing. And Jeff's like, what do you mean cheating on you? And she's like, well, I ran into Adam at, like, the hotel. And Jeff was just like, well, what were you doing at the hotel? And this is where Shauna actually, like, reveals it. And we find out that the person that Jeff was talking to at the hotel, I liked who Jeff even, like, says, like, no, I would never be in an affair with that person. I'm terrified. Like, I like that he reveals it like a comedic way too, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's not even like, no, we're not having an affair. It's like, I would never, because she fucking terrifies me.
Yeah. So we find out that, like, the person that Jeff was talking to at the hotel was working with the loan sharks, and that's who Jeff was meeting with, like, at that time and everything like that. So, I actually like this, that, like, even though we find out Jeff wasn't cheating, what he did, like, basically caused Shauna to cheat. So, in a way, he's somewhat at fault for it a little bit, just because, like, and then, pretty much the idea that they come up with was, why not just let, like, the rest, because the rest of the Yellowjackets crew don't even know, like, that Jeff's the blackmailer, so they come up with the idea to make them think that Adam was the blackmailer all along, which I actually think it makes sense. I think that's a pretty good idea, just because you don't really know what the reaction's gonna, especially with how crazy Natalie and Misty are. It's probably best that it's kept secret, that Jeff's the blackmailer, so I actually liked that. And then they have a sweet scene after this where Jeff and Shauna like, talk about, like, we find out that for years Jeff has known about everything that happened in the wilderness, because Shauna wrote it all in her journals and everything like that.
And yeah, and I guess Jeff, like, read them years ago.
And even though Jeff has read him years ago, he still chose to, like, stay with Shauna and everything like that, which I actually think is really, like, sweet. The fact that he knew all this stuff and still decided to stay with Shauna at the end of the day anyways, which I think makes it better. Like, it makes sense, like, because Shauna even asked him, like, even after what we just gone through, are you willing to, stay with me? He's like, well, I stayed with you during the plane crash stuff. And, I like that Jeff did this because, like, he knew Shauna was never going to talk about it herself. So, like, he waited for years for her to talk about it, but, like, he finally just did some digging himself.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do feel bad for Jeff. Yeah, where he says, like, I waited for years for you to bring it up, and you just, like, you didn't. And, I mean, Shauna's, she does say, like, it's not exactly an easy topic to bring up. But, yeah, I feel bad for Jeff, yeah, where that's, like, a whole, that's a big elephant in the room for decades that Shauna, just, like, never even, like, shared with him.
And I like this now, because now Shauna, like, has someone to share this with who's understanding about it that wasn't on the plane crash.
It's also interesting because, again, like, aside from, like, what happened this episode, nothing they've done so far has been, like, so horribly, like, immoral that they, like, can't, like, share it.
Yeah. So that makes you
So
question.
clearly, like, you know, this is all stuff that, like, we haven't gotten to yet that, like, Jeff has found out about.
And now we know.
Well, it's also because, you know, again, we didn't know if Jeff knew that Shauna was pregnant the first time. Now, obviously, he would know.
So this is where I'll talk about this now. So we haven't really been able... AJ and I talked about this off camera, but we never talked about it on camera, mainly because the opportunity hasn't arisen. So obviously, I don't think the show wants us to think this, but it doesn't seem like they're really... It doesn't seem like they don't want you to not think this. They make it... But, like, I think a lot of people might think Callie is the kid that, you know, Shauna and Jeff had the first pregnancy time around. But, you know... And, you know, I think they want you to think that, too, because, you know, Callie's been, like, the payback child that, like, you know, has kind of been making them, like, not like the parent and everything like that. You know, Shauna hates her daughter, so they kind of want you to think that. But if you do the math, you know, because Callie's still in high school, and the plane crash happened in 1996, so if you do the math, Callie should be my age in 2021, which is like, I think like I turned 25 in 2022, I think, or 2021, because I'm 28 now, so I turned 25 in 2021. So Shauna, like, Callie should have already been in college by now and like not graduated high school. So if you do the math, Callie shouldn't be the child type of thing. So you know, but for some reason the writers kind of want you to think that.
Oh, not even college, yeah, because it's 1996.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Callie was that kid, Callie would be like 24, 23.
So probably already graduated, like I said. So.
Did you say already graduated college? I thought you said like would be in college.
Yeah, I said already. I probably didn't say graduate, but I said she probably already would have gone through the process of like going to college. So, you know, because She might have graduated, might not have, you don't know, type of thing. Like, depends on what she does. So, but I think it's sweet though that like Jeff still stayed with Shauna after all this time, and like, you know, and you know, I think that's kind of cool because now if you watch back scenes, like I mentioned, we mentioned this off screen, like the scene where Shauna like killed the rabbit. When Jeff asked her about it, like later, that held more weight because like, you know, Jeff actually like knew that she was telling the truth and. Like still kind of like didn't think much of it type of thing. So, and I think it means more that I like that Jeff has known this for years because that holds more weight. Like he didn't just find out about this like, you know, right before the blackmailing thing. I like that he had known for like a while type of thing.
Yeah. I do like
it. Is kind of weird. Like, why did he have I don't know why he had the journals though. Like if he's known for, why would he need I don't know why he would need the journals. You know, because that's how like Shauna.
This is funny. I didn't even notice that. That's how Shauna figured out that it was Jeff. That I didn't notice that the journals were back in the safe.
Yeah.
I thought she just looked at the glitter again and was like, "Wait a minute, it's actually Jeff." And I was like, "Wait, how'd you figure that out?"
Yeah, but like it was because the journals weren't there. So like, I wonder why he took the journals out if he didn't. If he already knew.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why Jeff did that.
I mean, we know why they did it because they needed that because the art.
Yeah, I know, but that's actually that might be a plot hole when you think about it because that's what causes Shauna to go kill Adam.
Yeah, that is one thing I don't like about this show is like, you know, characters would do things so the audience will like know about for the audience to know about it. But yeah, like I don't know why Jeff took the journals out if he's known for years about this stuff.
Yeah. I do like. But I do like how he's not like completely like he's getting a bit defensive. Where like Shauna asks him like who else knows about the blackmailing, and he says like Randy.
Right.
And she gets like upset that he told Randy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Well, Randy's my best friend. I have to talk to someone about this. Like I needed help." And Shauna's like, you know, well, why didn't you talk to me? And Jeff brings up a good point where it's like, are you serious? Like you have an entire safe full of secrets.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I also like, you know, what Jeff and Shauna like say, like Shauna even mentioned like when did we become these people, and Jeff even like says like we've been these people for like years, you know, kind of referencing like how they even got together.
He says like that's always been our relationship, and it's like their relationship was literally built on like secrets and lies.
Mm-hmm. So then, Shauna calls Taissa, which made sense, and mentions that she found the blackmailer, which causes Taissa to call Natalie. Shauna pretty much is coming up with like a BS story. I mean, the story's not completely BS, but like, how they got together and everything like that. But why we mentioned the BS is, Shauna mentioned, I think Shauna was bullshitting. She mentions that she's been seeing this guy for like months. Which obviously, I think was BS, because obviously, if you look at the timeline of the show, there's no way the months have passed since the first episode in the present and stuff like that. So it's probably been like a few weeks and everything like that. So, but she comes with a BS where she mentions like he went to get coffee and she like found her journals. I like too that the group didn't, like Taissa and stuff, didn't know that she still had her journals and everything like that. So I like that. Shauna bullshits and says like, the guy was like about to attack her. And like that's what caused her to kill her, which I actually think is a pretty good lie, just because like that's why Shauna would do it so abruptly, self-defense type of thing. And obviously Natalie's heartbroken just because of the fact that, in her mind, this is the guy that like killed Travis and everything like that. Now she doesn't really get like any closure from it, it feels like now, and just to get the revenge herself type of thing. I do like that when Natalie calls out Shauna for killing him. Shauna like mentions like, you were gonna kill him too, and Shauna's like, no, I wasn't gonna kill him. I was just gonna shoot him in the knees or something like that, which doesn't really add up because he was in a freaking car and everything like that, and I don't think you're gonna get his knees if he's in a car. So, but they're kind of trying to figure out a way to get rid of the body because they don't really know how to get rid of it, and kind of squash this thing, especially and everything like that. So I like Natalie. She's like, I know a way to get rid of it. So then Natalie goes over to Misty, and Misty, she's apologizing to Misty. At first, she's not really.
Sorry, real quick. When you talked about the journalist and Misty, did he mention how the journalist was the one who brought up like, so what? You guys like cannibalized each other, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed that. Sorry.
Yeah. And then, so Natalie kind of goes over and apologizes. I like that, Misty obviously doesn't buy it like originally. Like, she knows Natalie's not being genuine because she needs something. But then Natalie actually does get an apology, like mentions, like, you've been one of my best friends and you've been the one really looking out for me and I'm just scum type of thing. I think Natalie was being genuine, but not that genuine. I still think she was kind of bullshitting a little bit.
I mean, no, she was 100% bullshitting. She just needed something from Misty, so she was like, hey, I'm sorry, and told her what she wanted to hear.
Yeah. And then she's, the episode ends with Natalie, like, telling Misty, like, I need you to get rid of a dead body type of thing. So
it's interesting. If Misty comes along with Natalie, this will be the first time all four of them are together present day.
Which is nice. I like that.
I'm kind of surprised it took till episode 10 to get there.
I like that though, builds the anticipation type of thing.
Yeah, true.
And you needed something big to happen in episode 10. If Adam was gonna die this episode, you needed something big to happen in the season finale.
Yeah, having all four together. Yeah, true.
Something that's season finale stuff. So,
yeah.
Overall,
well, you got through that much quicker than I got through all my stuff.
I know. Probably should have reversed that. And I was still losing. As you heard, I mean, we did do a big video last night, but I was still losing my voice like halfway through it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I loved everything in the present too. I like how they deal with Adam, like the blackmailer reveal, Adam's murder. I kind of forgot, like I said before, they spent a whole episode like dealing with how they were gonna get rid of the body because I thought they were both the same episode. So like the next episode, as you're gonna see, is gonna be them dealing with that. Like, but again, this is like me watching both episodes the same day. They all blend together sometimes.
Yeah.
But overall, everything in the present I thought was fantastic. I liked the reveal of the blackmailer, and I liked the fact that the fact that Jeff's reasonings for being the blackmailer made sense, and I like that he wasn't a villain about it. It was just him being like desperate type of thing. Because him being a villain about it wouldn't have made sense since like Shauna knew him for like years. Like, why now would he like blackmail him? So I liked that, like and I like too that like the story now is like Shauna's keeping it from everybody else. So like, is that ever going to get out, or is that just going to be something that like the characters never find out about type of thing? Like, are they going to? Is this going to come up again type of thing?
Yeah, I hope it gets revealed. That'd be interesting. How like Natalie and Taissa like now have to deal with the fact that like Shauna basically fucking put him through all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was more so Jeff, but Shauna covered for him.
And then another big reveal we got in this episode that I didn't even mention, that like the blackmail and stuff and like Travis's death now we know isn't connected, obviously, because Jeff ended up being the blackmailer. So that was a pretty big reveal we got in this episode. And you've talked about off screen. This is like the third time where like something hasn't been connected to something like in this show type of thing.
Yeah, at first it was the journalist, had nothing to do with it, as far as we know. Then the lady in the tree had nothing to do with it. Then fucking the blackmailer. So the only lead we have on Travis is the postcards, really.
Yeah. So,
which that hasn't been. I forgot about that. Like, I legitimately forgot about that. It hasn't been brought up since like episode 2.
Yeah. So I don't know if like the postcards are within. But yeah, let's do like letter grades and stuff. What do you think of this?
A+. I love this episode. It doesn't quite break the scale, but definitely the best episode so far.
Yeah.
I like how strange and weird it is. Like I said, I'm glad it's more like focused. We're only getting like one storyline in the past, really, and one storyline in the present.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice seeing like all the main characters like together.
Yeah. I will say too, what makes the past cooler. I know I say normal, but that's like the last like normal high school thing that they really do like in the past lately. Everything else kind of goes like off the rails. So
because like you said, winter is coming up, so they're not really going to be able to like have any opportunities for that. Yeah.
So this was like the last hurrah, which I actually liked. So
yeah.
DoomComing. Yeah. I mean, the episode titles it. So A+. I agree. Not quite scale breaking. There's I guess the only annoying thing, but I'm willing to overlook it, was like, why did Jeff take like Shauna's like journals out if he's known for like years type of thing? So,
Yeah.
But like I'm willing to kind of look past that type of thing, So, but yeah, we got one episode left, and then we're done with season 1. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm glad we didn't do them all 3 days in a row, because I think we need to give our voices a break for the next episode, probably.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to watch episode 10 now right after this, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. Well, let's make sure the video like worked audio-wise and everything first. But, I'm excited. And then, let's just end this video off. Do you have any predictions for the season finale, by the way, now? Because,
I don't know. Misty will probably kill a journalist. I said off camera, I think I guess the Travis murder mystery will be extended to season 2.
Yeah.
And as for the past, I don't know. I guess they'll try to address what happened this episode. I feel like this was like the main like meat, and then next episode is kind of just going to be dealing with the aftermath of all of this episode.
When I would say my prediction too for the time. I think because this episode, they spent a lot of time in the past, I think it's going to be the opposite the next episode, where they're going to spend more time in the present the next episode.
I can see that.
I could be wrong, so. But yeah, especially too because they have to deal with Adam's, like getting rid of Adam's body now and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching this video. Anything you want to promote?
Nah.
As for my stuff, check out Wrestling Fortune 44 and on the Talkinator. We got some stuff. We still got some videos planned. Even though we only have like a month left, really, of the year. And that's pretty much it, guys. And we will talk to you guys later.